Okay, so yesterday we spoke about cause and effect, because we're talking about that only Hashem possesses all seven qualities that are necessary for a person to truly rely on him. And the last of those qualities is that Hashem manages a person's life from beginning to end. In order to understand that, you have to understand also that this idea about cause and effect, our actions, it's Chovas Levav says that our actions are though they are part of the effect, but the it is really God who's the one who is, everything is happening through the hands of God. That Hashem is the one who is making the effects in our world truly happen. And then he says that it's actually logical, because it'd be hard to understand how, if you could plant, he just uses this as an example, that you could plant a single kernel of wheat and there could be so many stalks that come from it. So therefore, it must be that Hashem is having a hand in whatever happens, and our actions that we take are only part of one small part of the bigger picture. And then he quotes some psukim, so that's where we'll continue. Kfar Ramas Hachacham Leinian Zeh. He says that those who try to speed up the process or make the process slow down. So Shlomo Melech already alluded to this. He says, There's a time for everything, a season for everything under the heavens, meaning every single occurrence has a preordained time and season. Then he mentions 28 of them. He says there's a time to give birth, there's a time to die. Until a statement of there's a time for war and time for peace. He's saying that Hashem has ordained in advance a time when every single event in one person's life, every single event in the world will actually occur. The Amar, and he says, furthermore, even though those occurrences seem to suddenly run counter to experience expectations, are also preordained by Hashem. Shlomo says, Ki eis v'fega yikras kulam. He says that the pasuk says, once more I saw under the sun, peace is not won by the swift, nor battle by the strong, nor does bread come to the wise, nor riches to the intelligent, nor favor to the learned, but time and fate will happen to them all. V'amar ki kavon mi'al gavo shomer v'govim Hashem. He says that the higher one is above. That is, of course, referring to Hashem. It's all orchestrated by Hashem. He concludes this by saying, Halichos dine habor yisala, the way in which the Hashem carries out his decrees are Yoser ne'alamos v'amukos v'yonos me'agial yedias chalken. And they're actually too hidden and profound for us to even understand in the individual parts. Kol shekein chalan. So for sure, their totality, how each part fits into the broad scheme of things. Makasav ki gavu shamayim me'aretz kein gavu derachai midarchei machshvosei machshvoseichem. That it's a possible that we say as high as the heavens over the earth, so are the ways higher than yours. We can't actually comprehend how Hashem's actions, how what carries out in this world is fitting into a bigger picture. So it doesn't make so much sense to try to comprehend by which Hashem runs the world. Okay, so that is the first section of chapter, um, which is that the first principle to one to have in order to have complete bitachon is to understand, internalize, and remember that it's only Kadosh Baruch Hu who possesses these seven attributes that a person has in order to make sense to rely on somebody else. I mean, when you think about who does it make sense for me to rely on, so every one of these attributes God possesses, but if you rely on a person, you rely on a thing, you rely on any other source, they wouldn't possess all those things. So the only person, the only thing that it makes sense to rely on is a Kadosh Baruch Hu. So that's the first principle. Tomorrow we'll continue with the second principle, and we'll start the third principle, and then we'll improve how we can have hopefully get to a place of true bitachon. Everyone have a great day.
Thanks.